Hello guys, my name is Mathur and welcome to my channel. This is the 33rd tutorial in the series of tutorials on Unix shell scripting. In this tutorial, we're going to learn to play with strings. And what I mean by that is we're going to prepare a shell script that's going to have a few string variables, and then we learn to compare those variables. And what I mean by that is that we're going to learn to see if the first string variable is the same as the second string variable, or if the variables are different, or if a variable is a null variable, that is if its length is 0 or if its length is greater than 0. We're going to learn to do all that, and this is going to be a long tutorial, so I won't talk and waste time. Instead, I have my text editor here and I've saved this file in my home folder. I've given it the name string-test. On the first line, I'm going to put a comment, string checks, and on the third line I'm gonna create a string variable. I'm gonna give it the name str1, right? I'll use the equal to symbol and double quotation marks to assign text to it, and I'm just gonna type in something, hey you, maybe. And on the next line I'll create another string variable. I'll give it the name str2, put the equal to symbol and assign text to it again. What's up? Remember, if you put a character within double quotes, then it doesn't have any special significance to the shell, so you can basically use any character that you have on your keyboard, right? As long as the characters are within double quotes. Please keep that in mind. And on the next line, I'm gonna create a null variable, and that is I'm gonna put an equal to symbol immediately after the variable name, and I'm gonna press the enter key, right? So that's one way of creating a null variable. The other way is if you put double quotation marks but don't put anything within the double quotation marks, that would also create a null variable. So there you go. These are the three variables we're gonna have in the script, and now I'm gonna run a check to see if my first string is same as the second string, right? And the way I do that is by using square brackets, and within the square brackets I'll have the test $str1 is equal to $str2. And since these are strings, and since we want the shell to treat them as strings, we'll have to put double quotes here as well. Okay, and well, I'm not gonna put any code after it, right? So if these two strings are same, then we would just want to know whether they're same or not, and that we can do by viewing the exit status of this test. And to view the exit status, again, I would have to echo out the system variable $? On screen. And those of you who haven't followed this course, and those of you who don't know what exit status is, you can watch one of my previous tutorials in which I've discussed exit status. You can find the tutorial in the playlist. Alright, and the next test that we're going to do is going to be to check if the strings are different. And again, I'm going to put my first string within double quotes str1, but this time, instead of using the equal to symbol, I'm going to use the exclamation symbol first and then the equal to symbol. So this combination stands for not equal to, right? And I'll give a space and put the name of my second variable, which is str2, in double quotes again, and a space after the second variable ends and a space before the first variable begins. And again, I'll use echo $? To view the exit status. Okay, the next check is going to be to see if the length of any of the first two strings is greater than 0 or not. And the way I do that is by using the option -n and then my string, which would again go in double quotation marks, and I'll just use string 1 here. You can use string 2 as well, right? Because both are not null strings. And again, echo $? To view the exit status. And the last test in this script is going to be to see if the final string is a null string or not. And $str3, the option that you use within your square brackets to check for the length of a string to be 0 is -z. Okay, so that's something you have to keep in mind. And again, we view the exit status $? So I'll save the script file and I'll bring up my terminal, and I'll execute it, string-test .sh. Now, in case you've forgotten, I'll remind you again that if a test evaluates to true, that is, if a check is executed and if it is found to be successful, then the exit status is 0. And if it is found to be unsuccessful or false, then the exit status is 1, right? So let us first view the output and then match the output with the checks. So the output is 1, 0, 0, 0, and there are 4 tests in our script file. The first test is to see if the first string is the same as the second string. Well, is it? The first string is hey you, the second string is what's up. So they're obviously different strings, right? So this had to be 1 or false. So that is what we have here. We have 1 as the first line in the output. The second check was to see if the strings are different. Well, of course they are different. So the test should evaluate to true, or the exit status should be 0. And what is the exit status? It is indeed 0, right? And what do we have as a third test? The third test is to see if the length of string 1 is greater than 0 or not equal to 0, whatever. And that is of course true again. So the exit status had to be 0. And what is it? It's indeed 0, right? It's right here. You guys can see it. And the last check is to check whether the length of string 3 is 0 or not, and that again has to evaluate to true. So the final test gives us the output 0, right? So if I would make some changes here, such as if I would put str3 instead of str1 here, then this test would give us different output. Why? Because it would check whether the length of str3 is greater than 0 or not, and that is not the case because str3 is a null variable. So this test would evaluate to false, and the third output, instead of being 0, would be 1. So let me see if I've saved the file. Well, of course I have. So I'll execute the script again, and now you can see that the third row has 1 instead of 0. So there you go. This was a pretty dumb shell script. It didn't do anything meaningful, but the purpose behind making this shell script was not to entertain you guys, or maybe that was, but it definitely wasn't to do anything meaningful. The purpose was to make you guys familiar with string checks and to discuss with you guys how you can play with your strings in your shell scripts, and then branch control, or put these string checks within if statements and execute codes of your choice. So there are a lot of things you can do with this knowledge. So I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll discuss something interesting again. So please stick with me in this course, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this one, and please subscribe to my channel.